Many Democratic members of the Senate and House representing New York have stayed on the sidelines. That kind of spineless politics is what people are sick of.
Senator Chris Van Hollen is a man from Maryland. Pretty progressive, pretty good, got his head screwed on. He gave an address, he gave a speech to Democrats in Iowa over the weekend. I believe it was over the weekend. And he is tapping into something that I have been talking about for months and months and months, about we need an opposition. He doesn't say these words, but we need an opposition party. And it seems to me that it's like when you, in The Godfather, I think I've made this reference before, when Tom Hagen, the Robert Duvall character, he gets let go as the consigliere because we need a wartime consigliere. That's what we need in the Democratic Party right now in leadership. We need a wartime, quote unquote, leaders. People who are in it, ready for the fight, ready for the battle ahead. And I don't mean literal war. I'm talking euphemistically about the struggle ahead, fighting the Republican Party and fascism as they squelch free speech from not just against migrants and people who are permanent legal residents who write op-eds that Donald Trump doesn't like, decrying the wholesale slaughter of the Palestinian people, the systematic erasure of a people in Palestine at the hands of Benjamin Netanyahu, the fascist. Not just them, but military members now, if they're not sufficiently mournful of the death of Charlie Kirk, they're going to be drummed out, possibly face court-martials or non-judicial punishment or just discharge. That's a violation of the First Amendment of the Constitution. And that Congress shall make no law. The government shall have no law abridging the freedom of speech, restricting your ability to exercise political speech, especially. We need leaders in this moment. I know I'm rambling here. Chris Van Hollen really called to the carpet Democratic leadership in this moment, in a moment where we just came off an election. I'm going to ramble a little bit more. We just came off an election. I know people are going to click off this video because this is ultimately going to be criticism of some Democrats. We just came off an election, and I've been very critical of the type of, not all leftists, and I consider myself very left. I don't know about these labels, but I'm as far left and still be considered a progressive. I'm a Bernie Sanders Democrat. I'm an Elizabeth Warren Democrat, right? So you can't having just come off an election where there's an element of the left that refused to vote for Kamala Harris in the face of Donald Trump, who were part of a team that ushered in what we're now all facing. The kidnapping of migrants off our street, the kidnapping of Americans off our street. But they couldn't vote for Genocide Joe and Kamala the cop or whatever nonsense. You got two choices, dipshits. So that same criticism that I have for those leftists, I have for Hakeem Jeffries. I have for Chuck Schumer, who won't endorse Zohran Mamdani. It makes no fucking sense whatsoever. Do you want Andrew Cuomo, the sexually assaulter of women? That's who you want? You want Eric Adams, the Trump ally? You want Cuomo, the guy who's on the phone with Trump to see how he can get himself in office? Those are the people you want? Because those are the only choices. Mamdani, Cuomo, Eric Adams. That's it. So they complained about the leftists who, frankly, fucked all of us by not voting for Kamala, by not supporting Kamala. And now they're doing the exact same thing. They're going to support the sex pest or the fascist former cop over someone who is dedicated to the prospect of making the lives of New Yorkers better, of advancing good ideas. Here's Chris Van Hollen, senator, seated United States Senator for Maryland, speaking the truth.
Fellow Americans and Iowans, we are at an inflection point. The country's not going to fix itself. The National Party is not going to fix itself by itself. It's up to all of us. It's up to all of you. We need to start now shaping the future. That means winning the key races of 2025 by supporting our terrific Democratic nominees for governor in Virginia and New Jersey. It means in 2025. And it means supporting our Democratic nominee in New York City's mayoral race, Zohran Mamdani. He is focused on ensuring that people can afford to live in the place that they work. That should be our goal in New York City, Des Moines, and every town and city and place across the United States of America. Donald Trump and New York's financial elites see that as a threat. The idea that everybody who works in New York City should be able to afford to live in New York City. And they have mobilized to defeat him. Yet, many Democratic members of the Senate and House representing New York have stayed on the sidelines. That kind of spineless politics is what people are sick of. They need to get behind him and get behind him now.
Listen, it's refreshing to my ear to hear a seated senator say things like this. Not with your milquetoast, nonsense, weak-ass bullshit answers. He's talking about spinelessness in politics. And that is what it is. And let me tell you, there's not much time left. And not like my word has any heft or any weight at all, but I'm one of many. And it's almost time for Chuck Schumer to just resign. It's almost time for Hakeem Jeffries to step aside and let people who have the mettle take control of the party and start leading the opposition to this very dangerous, very real moment we face. Hakeem Jeffries is extra egregious in this moment. I want to read you his response to this little clip that you just heard from Chris Van Hollen. This is the headline from the New York Times. Van Hollen criticizes Democratic leaders for delay in endorsing Mamdani. At an annual fundraiser in Iowa, the Maryland Democrat said he supported Zohran Mamdani for mayor of New York and said people were sick of spineless politics. Now get a load of this. And this, I'm dragging Schumer into this too, because he also has refused. Kathy Hochul endorsed already. The governor finally did so. Mr. Schumer, met with Mr. Mamdani earlier this week and said he would keep talking. Ms. Hochul also said she and Mr. Mamdani have been having conversations. This was before she endorsed. Mr. Jeffries, Hakeem Jeffries, has hinted that he was moving toward a decision, saying he would address the election in coming weeks. Quote, Leader Hakeem Jeffries will have more to say about the election well in advance of November 4th, said Justin Shermill, a spokesperson for Mr. Jeffries. Meanwhile, confused New Yorkers are asking themselves the question, Chris Van who? That's the official response for the wannabe Speaker of the House of Representatives who's supposed to be supporting Democratic candidates and instead is playing cute. Chris Van who? The United States Senator for the state of Maryland? Hakeem Jeffries, are you being cute? Or are you being recalcitrant? Are you being an obstructionist to progress? Are your corporate donors whispering sweet nothings in your ear, telling them we can't have this flavor of Democrat in office in New York City? Chris Van who? This is not just assholery. It is regressive. It's admitting they're not ready for the fight. Everything is a scripted, canned line that's been filtered through focus groups and think tanks and strategy meetings and consultants. I want someone who can speak from the heart. I mean, even if it's like a Pete Buttigieg type, who's also not great about Mamdani. What is with these corporate, middle-of-the-road, milquetoast Democrats? We are in the fight for our country, for our nation, as violence is being called for in the streets. Nazis are marching in our streets, celebrating the life of Charlie Kirk. And this is Chris Van Who you got? That's what you got? Maybe lead. How about that, Hakeem Jeffries? Maybe do your job, Chuck Schumer. Again, guaranteed this will be the lowest viewed video of the day, maybe of the week. People don't like when I do this, but it is important. Zohran Mamdani, if you live in New York City, is your choice for mayor. It's it. That's a guy who wants people who live in the city to be able to afford to work in the city. People who are working there, they shouldn't have to live in Jersey or in Connecticut and have to commute in, and it costs all that money and all that time and all that stress. It's basic stuff. You should be able to work a job and make enough money to support yourself and your family. How revolutionary. Oh, what a shocking idea. I don't know if I can endorse him. That's pretty radical. Anyway, I'll shut up. I'm sure you're happy. What do you think? Tell me where I'm wrong. I'm open to dissent. If you agree, I'd also obviously love to hear from you too. You can comment below this video wherever you're watching it. You can also call the voicemail line 714-576-4054. And of course, as always, you can email me daily@dollemore.com. I love and appreciate you very much. I will see you next time. Until then, be genuine and take care of one another.